Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back for the finale episode of Rebel on BET. So let's just get right into it. So y'all know last episode they arrested the little Asian cop, Brian Markey, right? So Markey being a big badass, he don't really want to talk, he don't want to say anything, and Rebel's behind the glass with Mac and Jimmy when Captain Hart or whatever the fuck his name is with the mustache comes in, okay, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? You're a civilian, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? He kicks her out. So she's like really frustrated and she sees that cop that was always talking to Charles. He was one of Charles' little baby cops that he read the Odyssey to and shit. So she looking at him like, I'm gonna have to ask this nigga some questions later on, right? Captain is trying to pin the body cam switch on Charles, knowing good and goddamn well that he was the one that switched the tapes and gave the tape to Charles and told Charles to do what he will with it. And when Charles did what he felt was right, which was give it to Rebel, now you want to come in this motherfucking act like, oh my God, what? What happened? Oh gosh. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. You know what? Because I know there are so many real people like that. That guy is such a good actor, and I'm going to give it to him because I feel like I already know men like that, okay? And it's just, oh my God, I hate those types of people. Hate them. So Mac tells Rebel to calm down. He got it. He is watching her back. He got her. Don't trip. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all something. I have been feeling this entire time that there was something still not right about Mac. But Mac wants Rebel. So in the process of him wanting her so bad, he's going to do whatever he got to do to look right in her eyes. Y'all, we going to get to it, okay? We going to wait till we get there. But I just, oh my God, like feeling this that whole time. And then to see it play out. Rebel and Gina decide to go dumpster diving at Von Bryant's house after his wife Hannah puts the trash out. Okay, they're going through the trash and they find like one little strip of paper that might have been from an airline ticket. Okay, so Von Bryant could possibly be out of the fucking country already. Mark and Jimmy play good cop, bad cop with Marty's ass, but he's got the one up on them, okay? He knows he's a cop. He knows y'all don't have any evidence, so he thinks they do have evidence and they're going to get more evidence. But he's just like really feeling himself with this situation, and it shows that Jimmy and Mac are not all the way on the same page. But Marky isn't convinced either way because he knows the main witness that they're talking about, Brim, is a black drug dealer whose friend they shot. So y'all know Jackie trying to be that nice older lady that come into your daddy life and, you know, become his late wife, the wife he had on the way out, you know what I'm saying? So Jackie invites Rebel and Gina over to Sunday dinner because she wants Daddy and Rebel to make up. But Daddy ain't trying to hear that shit. He's still mad, especially when Rebel tells them at the table that they just arrested one of the cops that shot Malik. And now he's mad because she's just not telling him. And it's like, motherfucker, what you mean? Like, calm down. Like, why are you upset about this? Like, we're doing shit. I'm trying. Like, and he still gets mad and gets up and leaves from the table and goes in the front room to watch TV and eat, right? So when Gina and Rebel go take their place in the kitchen, Rebel blames Jackie once again, and Jackie is like, look, little girl, okay, I am not the enemy, and I am sorry for what happened between me, you, and your daddy, and your mom, and all of that. I'm sorry for that. Now, we don't know what they're talking about right now. All we know is we saw a flashback of Jackie and Renee, daddy, in the kitchen fooling around, and Rebel walks in on it. We didn't see what the big deal was at first, but we gonna find out this episode. Okay, later on, Renee asked Jackie to move back to Louisiana with him. He feels like there's nothing left for him here but pain, and all, you know, the house does is remind him of his dead wife and his dead son, and he just wants to move to Lake Charles and get the hell away from all of this. And Jackie says that she will move with him, and I'm like, girl, you could be a nurse anywhere. There was a guy with a tattoo on his arm who was driving the van that they were kidnapping people in. Y'all know the gray van. We're still looking for the gray van, right? So we find the tattooed guy. He's an old cop, of course. He used to be a cop. He's retired now, named Lark. We find him. We bring him in and show Marty that, well, Marky is Lark and Marky, like Jesus Christ. I mean, we couldn't get some better names where they weren't so much alike. What the fuck is this about? Anyway, but this makes Marky scared now because now they have the driver of the van who's also involved in this big thing that they're doing. He's there now. So now it's either him or Marky who's gonna talk first. So now Marky gets scared, and all of a sudden here comes Captain Hurt with the lawyer. And it's like he didn't even ask for a fucking lawyer. Why are you coming in here with a lawyer? Why do we do this? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna show him some respect. And it's like, why the fuck are always showing him respect. That's the shit that pissed me off. The same shit that he did, somebody else of a different race will do, and you will still try to show this motherfucker some type of courtesy or respect, really? But we know it's really so that you can cover your ass, because this all goes back up to you, okay? You are definitely on the chain of cops fucking up. Rebel finally asked that cop who was sitting at the desk, the black cop, I forgot his name, but she finally asked him to find out who switched the body cams, because they're trying to blame Charles, and Charles was your commanding officer, and he was a good cop to you, and you need to figure out what kind of cop you want to be. So she sends him on that mission. So Rebel sent out a hood APB. This is basically to all the people, you know, family members, friends, people who own stores in the neighborhood. Well, the info came through, okay? Mac and Jimmy find the van, and inside the van, they find evidence that Marky was in the van because he was smoking a cigarette and it had his DNA on it, okay? Lark is already talking, so of course, Marky is not going to spill the fucking beans, okay? He spilled the beans on the whole little ring with Texas. Basically, what was going on was Texas would give them the information about whatever drug dealers in town had stashes, okay? They go and kidnap them so the drug dealers can steal the stashes and they get the money. So they kill Malik because Lark thought that he'd made him when they tried to kidnap Brim and pull him in that van. Gina puts all the little pieces of paper back together that they found in Von Bryant's trash, and it comes up to be a plane ticket out of Mexico City to Vietnam. So this motherfucker could possibly be out of the country, so they start surveilling his wife, Hannah, right? He hasn't taken his wife, Hannah, with him. Jimmy goes to talk to her. She's really defensive, telling him to get the fuck out. So obviously, she's talked to him. She knows what's going on. He's probably still waiting around to find a way to get his wife out and their kids, too. Rebel gets these kids to throw a brick into the window of Von Bryant's house so she can go looking through the house. Because, you know, once somebody threw a brick through it, I can go and look because that's, you know, that's probable cause, I guess. Anyway, so she goes looking through his house, and while she's looking through papers and stacks of money, I think, Von Bryant comes up behind her and she has her gun pulled, but it's kind of too close, and they start to fight, and he's winning the fight, and then all of a sudden she gets him into a fucking choker hole, and clack, that motherfucker dead on the ground. Mac and Jimmy come in looking to see if there's anybody else, and then Mac picks Rebel up, who is really fucked up. She had a messed up spleen, all this other, you know, bruising and bumps from the fight. Nothing too major, but she definitely was a little fucked up. He takes her to the hospital, and that's when the compliance monitor comes in. And she's like, you know, the city owes you a debt, Rebel. And then Rebel gives her the USB with the body cam on it and says that they're going to try to blame this on Charles, but it wasn't Charles. Charles is one of the only good cops left out this motherfucker, okay? So, you know, of course, the compliance monitor already knows this because she fucked him. We don't know why he just up and disappeared. Rebel suspects that it's because he was caught in between, you know, both sides. You know, really loving the police department, but then seeing how they were really, like, taking advantage and fucking over and killing people and kidnapping them. It was too much. He probably figured everything out, so that's why he left the tape with Rebel. So the compliance monitor says she is going to do her best to get Captain Hurt the fuck off the police department, and also to put Charles in his place. This is also the time when Jackie decides to break everything off with Renee, okay? She says that his place is here with his daughter, and even though he's trying to run from shit, she wants him to get his stuff together, and she doesn't think he's gonna do that if he runs to Louisiana or even if he sticks around fucking with her. So they kind of break their whole little thing off. Renee and Rebel go down to the graves of Malik and the mom, and we finally get to find out this whole little situation and what happened with the mom and why Rebel hates Jackie so much. So apparently that scene we saw, the flashback with Jackie and Daddy getting all into it in the kitchen, was while the mom was still alive and while they were still married, and he had another woman in their house. So Rebel told her mom, and her mom and Renee got into it, and she grabs a bottle of liquor and gets in a car and leaves and gets into an accident and dies. So Rebel has always blamed herself for that in some type of way, always felt like that was her fault. And so when she saw Jackie, that was somebody to put that blame on as well for putting them in a situation to even, you know, have that happen. But they were both alcoholics and not thinking right, and it was just a fucked up situation. But Daddy apologizes to her and tells her that she needs to let all of that go. And it was a moment where we finally get to see Daddy possibly getting his shit together and not being a letdown he's been these past couple of episodes. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of been a letdown ever since the first protest in front of the police department. You know what I mean? So Rebel goes home and does the nasty with Mac, because y'all know Mac done saved the day and picked her up all Galilee and brought her to the hospital and shit. But y'all, something was still rubbing me wrong. And like me and Lyric are sitting in the bed watching it, and he's like, babe, you still don't like him, huh? I said, no. I said, it's something not right. I feel like he shows a good side for Rebel because he knows that's what Rebel wants, but I don't think he's a good guy. Something was bothering me, and we finally got to see it. Okay, so they go to a poetry session and Jimmy keeps calling Mac. Mac gets up and goes outside and answers the phone, and Jimmy's like, hey, Hannah just told me about some insurance policy that Von Bryant might have left behind. And he's like, the fuck you talking about? Tell her to call the lawyers. Like, you know, that got to do with us. And he's like, no, not that type of insurance policy. He asked, do you want to come with me to go check it out? It's on one of Texas properties. So he's like, nah, I'm here with Rebel. I'll fuck with you later about it. And he's like, okay, fine. So Jimmy's supposed to be on his way to go to one of Texas houses or whatever to find this insurance policy. But guess who gets there first? Mac. And it's a phone under the side of the house, and on the phone we can hear Mac telling Texas, why the fuck did you drug her? I didn't tell you to drug her. You took it too far. And then talking to Von Bryant about April, and he was like, man, I didn't tell you to bring April along with her stupid ass. You got to get rid of her. So obviously Mac is really at the head of this whole situation. We was thinking Von Bryant was our main guy, but Mac is actually the main guy. Mac is the one that picked Rebel up from being knocked out at Texas bar, brought her home, and wrote that shit back off on her chest. He did all of that. I was like, oh my God, I fucking knew it. I knew it. I knew he wasn't right. I knew it. I could feel it. I could feel it, okay? Jimmy shows up to the spot. Jimmy's looking around. He's hiding. Jimmy's getting close. And in order to keep Jimmy from seeing him, he shoots his brother in the fucking arm and runs off. And I'm like, I feel so bad for Jimmy. So now that we know that Jimmy is not a part of it because he got shot and he's being wheeled off to the hospital, that Mac and Von Bryant are partners, okay? So this means that Mac probably didn't accidentally shoot at Malik. It probably wasn't PTSD. He probably purposefully shot at Malik so that it would set the scene up for them to think that in some type of way he was gonna shoot somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just was a setup from jump, y'all. But because Mac made the mistake of shooting his own fucking brother, Rebel is not about to let this go, because now she feels like this shit ain't over. And this shit ain't over. And I hope y'all ready, because I'm ready. Y'all, I really hope they get renewed for the second season. I haven't found out anything yet, but I know the reviews haven't been getting as much views as I would like for them to. But at the end of the day, I still enjoy the show, so I'm going to review it regardless. And yeah, that was it for Rebel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I made a playlist so you can watch from beginning to end with my reviews of the show. And see you guys in the next review.
My mama, on my hood, I look fly, I look good, touch my